Hello and a warm welcome to the Sweet Spot, your go-to golf tipping show, brought to you by the Racing Post. It's Majors Week. We've got the US PGA to look forward to, plenty to get stuck into. We have a fully fit and fully in form Steve Palmer. How are you?
Yeah, I am fully fit. Yeah, I'm buzzing, and I'm buzzing like Rory McIlroy was last week. You know, McIlroy May got off to the best possible start. I love seeing Rory in full flow. That's what we got last week, and I'm trying to be happy. Jack, because I should be happy because of the Rory McIlroy victory and what a show he put on for us. But it's just that 1,000-to-1 treble. I can't get out of my head how, I just felt that was going to happen. The mortgage spitter was on, and the weekend was disappointing.
We can't be calling it a disappointing weekend, Steve. I mean, if I'd have said to you at the start of the week that Rory would have won and the other two would have gone very, very close, I think you would have taken that, wouldn't you?
It's the sin of greed, isn't it? I'm extremely sinful, Jack. I'm greedy. I'm gluttonous. I'm envious. I'm lustful. I go through the 7 deadly sins sometimes, and I just thought the 1,000-1 treble was on. You must have thought that going into the weekend. With Steve Stricker and Eric Van Rooyen backing up Rory McIlroy. We finished first, third, and fourth. We needed first, and first to send me home, send me to bed happy on Sunday night.
Absolutely. I mean, we were meant to be joined alongside AK himself today. He's ill at the moment. I suspect stress may have got the better of him over the weekend. He tweeted ahead of Sunday, he said potentially the biggest losing day in AK Bet's history if the treble clicks. I think he's hoping you tip up a 5-point win nap on Jimmy Walker this week, Steve, to try and get him out of trouble. I think he's regretting the sponsorship of the Sweet Spot. You've been in good form the last few weeks. A reminder, actually, a couple of things. If you sign up to AK Bets and your player misses the cut, you get 50% of your stake back as a free bet up to £50. That code is Sweet Spot 50. AK Bets big price. Big limits. Will be quoting their prices today. And also, we've got a watch along on Sunday, Steve. Now, I'm still trying to get over the Masters watch along. That was a truly epic evening. And I'm hoping for more of the same this week. And that's going to be my last ever show here on the Sweet Spot, the last hurrah. So hopefully we can go out on a winner. I'm looking forward to that one, Steve.
Yeah. The watch along will be great. Hopefully AK will be back for that. I don't know. He's got a perforated eardrum, I believe. Yeah, he's got a touch of the Victor Dubuissons. Remember, Victor Dubuisson had that in 2018, I believe, and that sort of ruined Victor Dubuisson's career. So I do hope that this, because he's so.
You're not being very sympathetic to him.
Well, I
say he's going to ruin his career.
I don't know. No, it's very, very painful. But Victor Dubuisson he wasn't as mentally resilient as AK. Victor Dubuisson used to pull out of events no matter what condition his ears were in. I'm sure he'll bounce back for Sunday. But maybe the pressure of that treble contributed as well. Yeah, the build up of pressure in the head. It wasn't just the 1,000-to-1 treble that I was excited about last week, Jack. I had a 4,000-to-1 quadruple on the go. I had Luke Humphreys to win the Premier League darts in Leeds because he's a Leeds fan. He had all the crowd on his side. So Luke Humphreys won the Premier League darts in Leeds with the McIlroy, Stricker, Van Rooyen combo. That was 4,000-to-1 each way quadruple. My hopes going into the weekend were extremely high. And we'll go through each tournament now and explain how it happened.
Absolutely. Brilliant link, Steve. We shall start with the Wells Fargo, was of course won by Rory McIlroy. I think, Steve, when we you in particular, golf punting is incredibly complex. So many runners in the field, so much can go wrong. And I think we often, through the trauma of the past events, sometimes try and look away from the obvious angle because it's never that easy. And actually with Rory, I mean, you spoke about it in last week's show, loves the course, playing well, no Scotty. It was all teed up for Rory. He got it done. I love watching this man play golf when he's in full flow. It was brilliant.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and when 15-2 was a joyous prize, wasn't it? His driving is a thing of beauty. The athleticism, the swing speed. He's getting up to like 200 miles an hour almost. The flow. He outdrived everyone in the field by a mile. His driving was outrageous. His approach play was excellent. He putted solidly for 3 rounds. And then on Sunday, holed virtually everything he looked at. He was 8 under par for 8 holes from the 8th hole through the 15th hole. That burst of scoring. He's just got gears, isn't he? Rory's got gears. He's prone to these always had the ability to produce ridiculous bursts of scoring. And yeah, that spell on Sunday was breathtaking. Rory, glory, hallelujah.
And actually, you look at the final leaderboard, and he won it convincingly in the end. But he was behind going into the final day. I mean, if you hadn't have watched that final round, you would have expected it had gone so easily. But he still had work to do there.
Well, he was 11-10 going into Sunday's final round. He was 2 shots behind going up the 8th hole, and then he just went into turbo, didn't he? And we talk about gears. I think it's important to talk about because Xander Schauffele just doesn't have those same gears, does he? I feel he's like a reliable Volvo. I was thinking about this. He's like a really solid car, no significant weaknesses, but doesn't have that acceleration and breakneck speed of your Ferraris and your Lamborghini. So I mean, McIlroy's a Ferrari, a bit less reliable, but he's got amazing levels of gears, isn't he? Schauffele, he's world class. He's a great all rounder. He'll win the Open in July. He'll do enough to win the Open in July and keep our major Zacca. Well, finish our major Zacca. But he's not a Ferrari. He hasn't won for 2 years.
That is a concern. I mean, how when Rory won, what were you up to? Were you celebrating? Were you kind of concerned about what had happened over the weekend? I mean, what was the emotion in the Palmer household? Well,
it was very, very late finish in the end for me. I had some issues to deal with, and I had the pause button on for a long while. And then I actually like doing all that because did you notice how slowly Schauffele was playing on Sunday as well? Really slow. He never used to be as slow as he is now. I know he's working through swing changes, but I found him really annoyingly slow with his decision making and when he was over the ball. So the fact that I had it paused for a long time and then could blast it all out.
You weren't watching it real time? I mean, how were you avoiding? I just
had to have an hour break. I had to have an hour break to sort out some family issues. And then I got it all on boom, 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 boom from there. And so that 8 under par burst through 8 holes, I had really.
No wonder it felt quick fire for you. You really fast forwarded the whole thing.
It was beautiful getting all those shots so quickly. But Sunday night was great. Saturday night was the big disappointment because of what Steve Stricker produced in the Regions Tradition. Which
should we go through that now then?
Yeah, sure.
You're doing my job for me, Steve. I might just mute my mic and let.
That's why you're leaving me. You're not required anymore. I'll do it myself.
The Regions Tradition. It was won by Doug Barron. We were on Steve Stricker, who, until that Saturday round, looked like he was the man to beat, and it was a birdie free, which isn't, we're usually saying bogey free when it comes to Stricker, but birdie free 73. That rhymes. In the end, wasn't it? And that was the killer blow in the end.
Absolutely, yeah. What price is Steve Stricker on one of his favourite golf courses to go birdie free in a round? It was staggering what happened on Saturday night, and I really did feel we were on for the 1,000-to-1 treble. And he made 17 pars and a bogey, and still had a winning chance from there. And then finished third in the tournament. Doug Barron, any price you like, 54-year-old journeyman, never won on the PGA Tour in 238 starts. Last year had surgery on both elbows. I mean, I have no idea what price Doug Barron is. If anyone's backed Doug Barron, let us know, because I don't really know if anyone in the world backed Doug Barron. I don't even think his mum. I don't know whether his mum's alive. I'll stop talking now. I don't think anyone's backed Doug Barron. So that was
elbows. That sounds really painful.
Yeah. Imagine having surgery on both elbows, and then the following year, it's the biggest win of his career. We got the each way. Got the each way treble, but we'll come to the Myrtle Beach Classic now if I just do your job for you again, and we talk about that.
and this felt even more of a sting, Steve. Obviously, we were on Eric Van Rooyen, and he finished. What was it? Tied third in the end. Tied
fourth. Yeah, tied fourth with 5 other players. Yeah.
But it was Chris Gotterup that got it done, and I just had in my mind. I mean, what was the tournament on when you were so sweet on Chris Gotterup?
Yeah, we just had him for one, didn't we? Yeah. Was it Puerto Rico? I mean, we just had him as a number one, our only selection in the golf. Yeah, he's been a sweet spot regular. Yeah, I was obviously pretty heartbroken. He was 50-1 last week. We just couldn't find room for him in our staking plan. But he's full of power, impressive ball striker. Putting is his weakness. He 3-putted the first 2 holes on Sunday to raise hopes of the mortgage spitter. I thought, he's got her up the wrong side of bed, and I was in the kitchen going, he's got her up on the wrong side of bed, because he had a 4-shot lead going in the final round, and we needed him to get her up on the wrong side of bed. But then he went bogey out the gates, and I'm thinking, oh, thank the Lord. But then he played his next 3 holes in 4 under par, so he completely blasted away. Eventually won by 6 shots. So yeah, he's a 24-year-old with a bright future. It was a triumph for moustache lovers, Jack. I think you should grow a moustache, because that's the first time he's had a moustache in a competition. As far as I know, I've never seen him with a moustache before, and he's rocking this classic moustache. And he obviously fell $1 million. And
well, why have you not shaved your beard off then and just left the moustache? Because at least you've actually got one grown at the moment.
I could do that. I do look frankly ridiculous when I do that. Yeah, I'm not good at moustaches. I don't. Yeah, I remember horrifying the wife once when I did that. I did a shave, and then I deliberately shaved all of it, all the bottom off, and kept the moustache. And she was in tears when I came out the bathroom. So yeah, moustaches don't go down well here. But Gotterup looks really good. He's got darker black. He got a black moustache, and yeah, he was impressive. But Davis Thompson got within 2 shots, Jack, on Sunday night, and then he messed up the par 5 15th. So Davis Thompson, close enough to win that. Another one of our selections, tied second. He made a bogey at the par 5 15, tied second. So full each way money off Thompson, and then Eric Van Rooyen tied 4th, 1 over par for the front 9 on Sunday. So basically, the 2 9s that killed our dreams with a front 9 from Steve Stricker in round 3, and the front 9 from Eric Van Rooyen in round 4. But yeah, we're getting close. A couple of 9s away from freedom.
I mean, it was a really enjoyable weekend. I mean, I was about to say stressful. I was trying to find clarity in my weekend, because I obviously had this going on, not for as much as you, Steve, but still would have been a lovely amount of money. I had a Norwich Leeds semi-final playoffs to contend with. My mind was absolutely scrambled, and I was starting to think, is sport really for me? I might take up like reading or something, and just give it all up. But it was excellent. I mean, how did you Saturday morning, what was the emotions kind of running like? Because for so many of our followers as well, the mortgage spitter, as you like to call it, was on.
I felt great Saturday morning, yeah. And the Saturday night was the moment I was a little bit cheesed off with life. And then Sunday, I got my head around the fact that, we're in the business of, if you have a winning week every week, you're going to be happier. You slowly build up your pot rather than get it all in one go. So, yeah, Sunday was extremely lucrative, and I should be happy. And I'm telling myself I should be happy. I just, I yearn for the mortgage spitter. I yearn for the face spitter, and I'm still convinced one day it'll happen.
Absolutely. Keep on plugging away, Steve. Well, hopefully the pots are fruitful this week. Please do remember to gamble responsibly as we go into the PGA Championship. Really looking forward to hearing Steve's thoughts on this. It's at Valhalla. Talk us through the track.
Yes, Valhalla Golf Club in Louisville, Kentucky, USA. 7,609 yards, par 71, 3 par 5s, a long track with bent grass greens, designed by Jack Nicklaus, opened in 1986. It staged 3 US PGAs. 1996, won by Mark Brooks. 2000, won by Tiger Woods in a thrilling duel with Bob May, you will probably remember. And then in 2014, won by Rory McIlroy. The course also staged the 2008 Ryder Cup. I actually went to that tournament on the Team Europe plane. Nice. Yeah, Bruce and I flew with Nick Faldo, Miguel Angel Jimenez. How did you actually? I know the story that you went. How did you get on the plane? Like how? We got tickets from 2 people that were on the plane. Big cheeses. 2 big cheeses that were booked to go on the plane couldn't go. They had some late dramas they had to pull out. So me and Bruce got these amazing tickets to be actually on the plane with the European team, and it was so much fun. Nick Faldo was prancing up and down the plane carrying the Ryder Cup and getting really into it. And I remember Billy Foster was going on the tannoy, making all sorts of pranks over the tannoy. It was an incredible experience.
Did you play it cool, or did you sort of try and blend in and act like you were part of Team Europe?
I think I was more cool in those days. I did play it quite cool. What they didn't know is that I had a big bet on Team USA. So I was actually going there as a USA fan with a big chunk on the Americans, and Faldo and his team were an absolute spanking. But I didn't do anything to handicap the European team. But the point is, I know this course. I've spent a week at Valhalla. It's a big boys course, Jack. It's a big boys course. Lots of elevated greens. Really tough approach shots to elevated greens, trouble all around them. It's a difficult but fair test. You've got to drive your ball really well, and you've got to be accurate on approach. So we've got a field of 156 going to post. Some rain in the build-up, we must mention. Going to be quite soft to start out. Sunny, warm and calm for the vast majority of the competition days.
Okay, really looking forward to it. Let's get the market leaders with AK Bets, usually top price in the market. Your favourite for the USPGA, Scotty Scheffler, 9-2. Rory McIlroy, 15-2. Brooks Koepka, 16s alongside Jan de Schauffele. Ludwig Aberg returning from injury, 18-1. John Rahm, 20s. Bryson DeChambeau, 28s. Bigger prices the rest. Scotty Scheffler, the kid is here. Steve, a baby boy, wasn't it, in the end?
Yes, Bennett Scheffler. We'll come on to Scotty and Bennett later.
Okay, Scotty Scheffler is in the field. So is Rory McIlroy. How many picks for the USPGA?
We got 5. There's only one golf tournament this week. We got good each way terms. I'm going for 5.
Okay, who's the main headline pick?
Rory McIlroy. I'm not surprising you there, am I? 15-2 again with AK Bets. We've got the same price we had last week. The stars have aligned, Jack. He said that himself after winning at Quail Hollow on Sunday. The stars have aligned. He's found his A game at the perfect time for the USPGA Championship. History is about to repeat itself a decade after his last Valhalla victory. Going into that 2014 USPGA, McIlroy had won his previous 2 tournaments. The Open Championship 3 weeks prior, the Bridgestone Invitational the week prior. Going into this Valhalla return, he's won his previous 2 tournaments. The Zurich Classic 3 weeks prior, the Wells Fargo Championship the week prior. The stars have aligned. Rory McIlroy's major winning drought is coming to an end on Sunday, folks. I'm convinced an overdue 5th major title is on the cards. Sorry, go on.
No, I'm just getting really giddy and excited. So you'll have to stop me if I interrupt. But in terms of prep runs, I mean, you couldn't have wanted much more from last week, could you? Because we were obviously on Rory, but we've probably got one eye on the USPGA, and then he delivers that, and you're going, oof, excited.
On that type of golf course, very, very similar golf course, very similar assignment he's facing this week. I'm so excited about the way this season has panned out for McIlroy. He started it in style, if you remember, won the Dubai Desert Classic really early on in the year. Then he's had that quiet spell. 3rd place in the Texas Open the week before the Masters was encouraging. He got his iron play sorted in Texas. Then his driving was excellent in the Zurich Classic. He was generally superb in that victory. He was the leading light in his alliance with Shane Lowry in the pairs event there. And then last week, just sensationally good. A driving masterclass. The putter started purring on Sunday. It was looking like a 7-shot victory, wasn't it, Jack? Until he got a flyer on the 72nd hole. He went for the aggressive showboating finish there and ended up in the water in the back. He could have easily made a straightforward par if he wanted to. So you could call that a 7-shot victory last week. McIlroy destroyed the field in a designated elevated signature event, 17 under par at a course which has hosted a major. It hosted the 2017 USPGA Quail Hollow. That's a big boys par 71 championship golf course. Does the return of Scotty Scheffler and Ludwig Aberg this week stop Rory winning again on a long par 72 track with bentgrass greens? I don't think so. I think he's the most likely winner. Long live the majors, long live the 2024 majors ACCA. I mean, we're excited. Even if I didn't have this 2024 majors ACCA on the go, I'd be really excited about backing Rory McIlroy this week. But the fact we've got him as leg 2 of our glorious ACCA is even more exciting.
So much. Maybe that could be the famous face bitter. I mean, what a way to do it if it's the majors ACCA that does it.
That definitely will be. I couldn't put myself through any more if I nailed the 2024 majors ACCA.
Well, I think we might. Do we maybe need to provide context, because we've mentioned spitting a lot on this podcast? For those that maybe haven't read your book, what are we referring to here?
We're just so uncouth, aren't we? Yeah, I'm referring to a term that was coined many moons ago, the face spitter. Which, as a 45-year-old man, I shouldn't really be talking in these terms, but it's about when you have the opportunity to, if you so wish, to spit in the face of your boss because you no longer need your job anymore. So I've always been chasing this face spitter. Bruce Millington was my previous boss, and I was looking forward to the day I could spit in his face and tell him I don't need your job anymore, Bruce. I'm a free man. It's basically for disgruntled wage slaves. To get a winning bet so large that they can spit in the face of their boss and win their freedom. But it hasn't happened yet. But I'm sure it will soon. And McIlroy can help us to that.
Oh, I love that story. Rory McIlroy, main pick for the USPGA. Who's next?
Before you move on, Jay, I'm so sorry. You interject to me whenever you want. I'll interject to you. We've got that relationship. We can interject whenever we fancy. I just want to get this stout off my chest because it's so incredibly amazing. I've overbilled it.
Else then, weren't you?
Well, I didn't know what I was going to say. I never do, but I've overbilled this one now. But I just want you to know that Rory McIlroy's played in 60 majors.
How many? 60.
He's playing in 60 majors. That's not the end of the stats.
Right. Okay. I was going to say. Yeah.
That's not incredibly amazing, is it? But how many times has he had a top 10 finish in those 60 majors?
Top 10s.
Yeah.
42.
Oh, blimey. It's definitely not incredibly amazing then, because he's had a top 10 finish in half of them, exactly half of them, 30, which I think shows a remarkable level of consistency. I think 30 top 10s in 60 major appearances is incredible. He's won 2 USPGAs. He's finished in the top 10 in 8 of his last 15 USPGAs. So I just think all that consistency is finally going to get his reward. It's incredible that he's gone almost 10 years without a major win. You know, when he was 25 years old, winning that last one at Valhalla, you just thought he's going to win so many, and he may still go on a real burst. You know, once he ends this drought, there could be another long burst coming. You know, US Open last year, Jack, you know, fine margins, and he played really well on the final round of that US Open. You know, he's just unlucky to run into Wyndham Clark on a day when he was inspired. But I think the little prince is going to get back to winning ways on Sunday, and Brendan Duke will be here on the watch along to help us enjoy it. He won't want to talk about Countdown on Sunday. He'll want to talk about the prince.
Let's do that stat once more. I feel like I did a disservice there. Ask me how many times Rory's finished in the top 10 of a major, and I'll give you a better answer.
Okay, yeah. An incredibly amazing, awesome statistic. Rory McIlroy has played in 60 majors. How many times has he finished in the top 10, do you think?
I think anything over 15 would be mightily impressive.
Well, I'm going to amaze you now. He finished in the top 10 in 30 of those 60
Has he really?
Which is 50%, exactly half.
I'm amazed. Rory McIlroy, the main pick for the USPGA Championship. 4 more to go. Who's second?
Maxwell Homer, 33-1 with AK bets. We got the same 1-2 we had last week for Wells Fargo. McIlroy the main tip, Homer the next best. Homer finished in a tie for 8th place with one other last week. Extremely encouraging performance from an increasingly dangerous member of the golfing elite. 3rd place in the Masters last month has instilled great confidence in Homer. He proved to himself more than anyone else that he can contend for major titles. You know, it was a long time until he became a major contender. Last month at Augusta, you know, self-belief skyrocketed, and he'd already proved himself for Team USA. You remember he won 4 points from 4 matches on his President's Cup debut in 2022, 3.5 points from 5 matches in the Ryder Cup on his debut last year in a team that got thrashed. He's got the temperament for the most prestigious events, Jack, and he showed that at Augusta. He didn't do a lot wrong at Augusta. He was beaten by Scotty Scheffler and Ludovic Aubert. No one else beat him. And last week, on another long, big boys championship course, as we've discussed, Homer showed that his magnificent iron play makes him a threat anywhere. He's not one of the longest drivers, but he's not short either. He's won at Quail Hollow before. His last PGA Tour win was at Torrey Pines South, one of the longest courses on the circuit. He won the Nedbank Challenge at the end of last year at another massive ballpark. So if you're looking for negatives for Homer, you might see massive course this week, not one of the longest drivers, but it's not a negative. He's proven his iron play is so good, his long iron play is so good. He can be a factor on long courses like this one. So yeah, McIlroy and Homer the best bets for the second week running.
If Schauffele's a Volvo, what's Homer?
This is a good question. Yeah. What is he? I suppose he's a bit like an Alfa Romeo, isn't he?
Okay.
He's always full of surprises. But yeah,
like an Alfa Romeo. I'm willing to go to war with a Ferrari and an Alfa Romeo this week.
Best car I ever drove, the Alfa. I used to have an Alfa Romeo when I was a sort of single lad impressing the ladies. That was a really unreliable car, but when it was growling its way along the motorway, you did feel like king of the world.
Brilliant. Rory and Max Homer. Who's third?
Sam Burns, 70-1 with AK bets, who became a father 3 weeks ago. His baby arrived in good time with regards to the USPGA. We'll come on to Scotty Scheffler later. He's had a baby too, but Sam Burns has had enough time to adjust to fatherhood and get his game in order for the USPGA. Scheffler may not have. Burns started this year impressively. He was 6th in the American Express, 10th at Pebble Beach, 3rd in the Phoenix Open, 10th in the Genesis Invitational. Then he had a quiet spell. His first baby was looming large, lots of off-course distractions. The baby was born just after the RBC Heritage. Bear Burns. Bear Burns has arrived on Earth.
Bear Burns?
Bear Burns. Such a good name, isn't it? Such a good name. I really love it. So Daddy Bear has had some time to be with Baby Bear. And then he was able to get back to business last week in the Wells Fargo. So he tied for 13th place last week in the Wells Fargo. In his first appearance as a father. And yeah, that was an excellent performance. So I feel like a pressure is lifted from the shoulders of Burns. It's a worrying time when you're becoming a father for the first time. And I think Burns has got the perfect combination of inspiration and energy to be a title threat this week. Scheffler may not have the right level. Yeah, Burns is a big time golfer, 5-time PGA Tour champion. He's won a WGC. He's played in the Ryder Cup. Now it's time to contend for a major title. I think Valhalla is a great fit. He's a really strong driver.
I think Sam Burns is a good example. A good example of showing just how stacked golf is at the moment. Because you'd probably have him outside of that top bracket, wouldn't you? But he's a 5-time winner and some big ones in there. I mean, as you say, he's a big contender and a big price.
Absolutely. I mean, he's one of the best 12 Americans in last year going into the Ryder Cup. Sam Burns. He was a massive price this week. I'm excited. I mean, obviously, I'm supporting a shorty in Rory McIlroy, mid-range homer, but my other ones are a long way down the betting.
When you name your son Bear Burns, I mean, he has to turn out like sort of world's strongest man or something, doesn't he? I mean, there's no other option for this lad.
Well, I suppose you get sort of cuddly little teddy bears as well, don't you? Yeah, you could go one way or the other, but yeah, maybe he wants him to be a big grizzly bear.
Yeah, I'm thinking more like Bear Grylls, where he's sort of trekking the Sahara and drinking his own urine.
Oh yeah, is Bear Grylls really called Bear Grylls? Is he? Is it his real name? Is that his real name? So that
it's probably like
Rupert.
Rupert. Yeah. Anyway, Sam Burns is the third selection for Steve Palmer. Who's next?
Byung Hun An, also 70-1 with AK bets. Another superb ball striker on my team. His tee to green class saw him become the youngest ever winner of the US Amateur Championship in 2009. He was only 17 when he won that. It was at Southern Hills, which is a regular USPGA venue. He won on the Challenge Tour in 2014. He won the BMW PGA Championship at Wentworth in 2015 by a 6-shot margin. He looks set to become one of the best players in the world. He didn't achieve what we expected. He won on the Corn Ferry Tour in 2022, contended a few times on the PGA Tour. Putting became a major bugbear for Benny Ann. Over the last 10 months, though, we've seen a real resurgence from Benny, as I like to call him. He finished 3rd in the Scottish Open, 2nd in the Wyndham Championship, 4th in the Century, 2nd in the Sony Open, 8th at Bay Hill, 16th in the Masters. And in the last fortnight, Jack, he's finished 4th in the CJ Cup Byron Nelson, 3rd in the Wells Fargo Championship last week. Benny Ann is looking top class again. And whisper it quietly, Jack. Whisper it quietly. He's putting amazingly well. Incredibly, amazingly, awesomely well. And
what's his make percentage? And I'll throw you a low number and you can amaze me.
Well, this will amaze you. This is probably even more incredibly, awesomely amazing than the.
You're going to tell me he's former
stuff.
world #1 amateur, aren't you?
Yeah, I think he probably was. He certainly won the USC. So that's not it. It is. He was top of the putting statistics last week in the Wells Fargo Championship, a designated elevated signature event. Yeah, this is huge for Benny Ann to have topped the putting statistics against a world-class field. You know, it was the big problem for him was the putting, but this broom handle putter, he was sweeping balls in from all parts last week at Quail Hollow. You know, if his putting problems are over, and the evidence has been compelling in that regard in the last few months, we've got a contender for everything on our hands. Yeah, Benny Ann is a proper golfer. He was world number 131 going into that Scottish Open I mentioned 10 months ago. He's world number 23 now. You have to respect Byung Nan.
And respect him I do, Steve Palmer.
Good lad.
With those amazing, incredible stats. That's 4. We've got one more to go. Lucky last.
We got one more to go at 135 to 1 with AK Bets. I don't think I've ever tipped someone at 135 to 1. AK Bets doesn't play by the rules. He likes to wear a hoodie at the racetrack, and he likes to price things up at 135 to 1. But Akshay Bhatia has got a great chance. It was between Stephen Jager and Akshay Bhatia for my final bet. Victory for Stephen Jager on Sunday would destroy me, but we won't go into that. They're both available at massive prices, but I think Bhatia has more scope for causing this upset. For starters, he's much younger than Jager, and he has double the PGA Tour titles. Bhatia is only 22 years old. He's already won twice on the PGA Tour. Both of those wins have come in playoffs. He's shown great courage to win these playoffs in his brief career. He won the Texas Open a month ago. His approach play in that event was absolutely sensational. He finished 20 under par. That golf course is no picnic. Him and Denny McCarthy were miles ahead of the rest of the field. Then he won a playoff with a birdie at the first extra hole. So Bhatia, hugely impressive in Texas. Finished 35th the following week on his Masters debut. Not a bad effort. He had a little shoulder niggle, if you remember rightly. I thought that I was impressed he finished 35th in the Masters. Then he was 18th in the Heritage signature event the following week. One of the best young players on the PGA Tour, Jack. And last week, we've got to forgive. Last week was disappointing. He didn't drive well last week. He finished 42nd of 68 at Quail Hollow. But I'm going to take a chance on him anyway because of his positive associations with Valhalla. He won the 2018 Boys Junior PGA Championship at Valhalla when he was 16 years old. I've seen the footage. He chipped in for eagle at the 72nd hole. Brilliant chip on the 72nd hole to win by a shot. Massively positive memories of this course. And before that tournament, I've read up on it. Before that tournament, he talked about how he was studying the pin positions from the 2014 USPGA, and that gave him a leg up on his rivals. He knew what the challenge ahead was. He's revising for the tournament, studying USPGA pin positions. I love that. So he's gonna know what to expect this week. Triumphed on the track at 16 years of age. Can he do it again at 22? He's played in 2 majors, made the cut in both of them. So we just need Bhatia to tighten up his driving on the practice ground over the next few days, which is entirely feasible. And we have a really lively outsider on our hands there.
135 to 1, massive price. Okay, so they're the 5 picks, Steve. I'm sure everyone's screaming at the screen as they always do. Steve, what about Scotty Scheffler? This is the man we were talking about. If he turns up, we simply have to back him, and he's so much better than everyone else. He's 9 to 2. With AK Bets. I think we had him at 5s, didn't we, for the Masters? So slightly shorter than that. What's putting you off, Mr. Scheffler?
I just think the baby Bennett, has come too close to the tournament. It's a chaotic time when you're a new parent. He's a really good man, isn't he? He's a really good man. So the point I'm making is he's not just going to go, oh, the baby's out, peck on the cheek for Meredith, peck on the cheek for Bennett, and then he's off the practice ground to work on his putter. The point I'm making is he would have thrown himself fully into that. There would have been no practice. He would have down tools completely after the Heritage, get Meredith nicely relaxed for the birth, and then after that spend all this time with the kid. I think I think this has the potential to massively unsettle Scotty Scheffler. So I can't entertain the short odds. I mean, with Burns, we're playing at 70 to 1 there. He's had longer to adjust. All is clearly well. He's had a tournament back. He competed last week and played well. I think Scheffler is just later in the piece and could be unsettled by baby Bennett.
The argument from the Scotty fanboys out there, Steve, would be, well, he's so good, he can deal with a week or 2 off. Would you listen to that argument?
Yeah, he's so good, but there's no change in the prices, is there? If you view baby Bennett as a negative, long-term baby Bennett won't be a negative. It'll be a joyous experience. But if you view baby Bennett as a short-term negative, it's not reflected in the prices, is it? The bookmakers are expecting Scheffler just to continue as he has been. I'm not so sure. I think this long break might have just, I don't like to use the word momentum because Bruce will send me an abusive text, but he might have lost some of his momentum through baby Bennett, who I wonder if he's named him after Warren Bennett. You're probably too young to remember him. He was one of my favourite players on the European Tour back in the day. A classic swing, massive underachiever. I suspect Scotty Scheffler has named his baby after Warren Bennett, but we shall see.
The other name that sprang out and just screamed Steve Palmer selection at me was Ludwig Aubert. And
Ludwig Aubert.
I think his team has come out this week and said that he's fine and his knee is pain free, which is good for all the Swedish followers amongst us. 18-1 this week. Did he get anywhere close to the shortlist?
They would say that, though, wouldn't they? I mean, if it was bad enough to keep him out of an elevated designated signature event last week, then I think the knee must be an issue. There's a
bit of Jose Mourinho mind games going on here?
I think there might be a bit of positivity. I mean, you used to get that from Tiger Woods, didn't you? All the best players don't let their opponents know of weakness. Tiger Woods didn't tell anyone when he had a broken leg, did he? And during the US Open, until it was sort of like creaking and making noises, and he couldn't disguise it any longer. I mean, I don't know the state of Ludwig Aubert's knee, but I don't trust bulletins like that entirely. And it's his left knee, which is the worst one for a right-handed golfer. A load of pressure goes on it. I just think it's enough to because again, it's not reflected in the prices. What price would he be if he had no knee injury? Exactly the same, I would suggest. I don't like backing players who are under injury clouds. Hideki Matsuyama's got a back injury. He pulled out on the eve of Quail Hollow last week with a back problem. Immediately, the back might be better. We don't know for sure. You can't back a player who's pulled out the previous week with an injury. There's just no point. There's plenty of other ones that have no injury cloud that you can focus on. So, I'm not backing Ludwig Aubert.
You mentioned there were a couple that nearly made the list. Who stood out the most that you haven't tipped up?
Well, Stephen Jaeger. I mean, I think he's 150-1 with AK bets. I was very interested in him. I mean, Brooks Koepka needs to be discussed. 16-1 with AK bets, much more tempting for me than Scheffler. I mean, Koepka's won three of the last six USPGAs. And he finished second.
That is a remarkable stat, yeah.
It is. And especially when I throw that he finished second 3 years ago into it. So it's very nearly 4 of the last 6. He's the king of modern majors, and in particular this one. I massively respect him, but I just feel like the LIV guys are underprepared for this major because the LIV schedule is different this year than it was last year. Last year, we had LIV Golf Tulsa the week before the USPGA. You had Koepka and Bryson DeChambeau finished tied 5th in LIV Tulsa. Nice little confidence booster, lovely warm-up. Then they finished 1st and 4th in the USPGA the following week. Cameron Smith was 9th in the USPGA last year. So Tulsa was a nice stateside warm-up spin for the Livers. This time, the LIV players have not competed stateside since LIV Miami, which was a week before the Masters. So they haven't played a stateside event since the Masters. They've had LIV Adelaide, LIV Singapore. I mean, this is not good preparation. I don't think the LIV guys have had good preparation. Koepka is the most tempting of all of them, but I'm happy to leave them out the staking plan.
Okay, great stuff. Now, there's going to be specials from yourself, Steve, throughout the week and in play running on the Racing Post Sport website. AK's not priced the specials up at the moment. He's sorting his eardrum out, so he's got sort of more pressing matters. But keep an eye out on the Racing Post Sport website, because that was also a very successful column of yours, wasn't it, throughout the Masters? So just alerting people there if they want some in running action and some market specials, and that's where to go. And I'm sure AK will go big prices on those as well.
Can't even shout at him to hurry up with the prices because he won't be able to hear you.
Maybe that's why you need to shout.
It's actually, it's really painful. We shouldn't jest. I know how painful that can be. There'll be blood oozing out of his ears. We wish him well. But we will have specials pieces looking to take money off him and make his life even worse as soon as possible.
Any other notes for the USPGA before we get an update on yourself or something at the end?
I mean, Xander Schauffele is 16-1. I mean, lots of people. Has he got a fan club? He seems to have a fan club because he always shortens prior to majors. Before the Masters, a sea of blue. He was shortening. Again, he's been well backed. I suppose it's because he provides such a good each way investment, doesn't he? He's always there or thereabouts. The Volvo is always parked on the leaderboard, but it just can't race past all these Ferraris. So I mean, he was 2 shots ahead on Sunday through 7 holes, and then he was over par for the rest of the round. So for Schauffele, I think he'll contend again. I can't trust him to finish the job at the moment, but give him another couple of months betting in this new swing, and then he'll win the Open for us and complete the majors acca.
Well, alongside the Premier League darts, Steve, there's Premier League football at the final weekend of the season to look forward to. Mark Langdon, the brilliant Mark Langdon, will be joining us on Sunday. But before that, on Thursday, the final episode of Mark Langdon's Bets Club will be live on the Racing Post YouTube channel as well. So stick around for that, and we'll be getting all of the reaction from Mark on Sweet Spot Live on Sunday. So, yeah, looking forward to that. Excellent stuff. Well, as I said earlier, we've got the watch along on Sunday. So if you are, subscribe to the Racing Post YouTube channel. If you haven't already, so you'll be alerted when that goes live. I think we're going to be going live about 7:30. We've got loads of guests. We've got Brendan Duke. Looking forward to that. I think we've got Bruce popping back. I don't think we've got Paul Dunn. I think there was a breakdown in discussions with his agent. So
I was there because I was discussing his big muscly thighs. He doesn't want to come anywhere near this weirdo Steve anymore. So no, we'll find someone else. Let's just lie. Tiger. There's rumor that Tiger Woods might be coming on to promote his new apparel.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe he'll send us some gifts ahead of the show. Well, there we go, Steve. I mean, this is my last ever Tuesday show, which is really sad.
I've still got time to convince you otherwise. I'm not entirely sure where you're going, but I am going to convince you otherwise. Doubtless something to do with Norwich FC. You're obsessed with that lot. How did they even get on against Leeds the other day?
It was a thrilling 0-0.
Thrilling 0-0, and there's another leg to come.
I'm up to Ellen Road on Thursday.
So
I'm sure we'll have a nice warm welcome from the Leeds boys.
We'll see Luke Humphreys up there. Luke Humphreys will be there.
He'll be playing, won't he, on Thursday?
Oh, it's on a Thursday. Oh, blimey.
Yeah.
Oh, blimey. He missed it, will he? Yeah, he missed. Yeah, of course he will. Yeah. I might distract him from the finals night. Yeah. Good point. Well made.
Well, there you go. There's an unexpected betting angle for the Premier League darts.
Well, yeah. Hopefully, I can convince you otherwise. But is it not looking good?
No, it's not looking good. Well, put your people in touch of mine. But no, it's going to be Dave Clark leading the ship from here on. So thank you to everyone actually for the brilliant journey that I've been on with Sweet Spot. It's been absolutely fantastic. Big thanks to Bruce Millington, who passed the baton over. I've thoroughly enjoyed my time here, and we'll miss it immensely. I'll be tuning in each and every week. Well, I'll see you Sunday, Steve. We've got a couple of tournaments next week that yourself and Dave will be previewing. I think it's the Charles Schwab and the Soodle Open or something. So a thrilling start for Dave to get stuck into there. And 5 selections this week. How are you feeling? What's your prep going to be like ahead of the start on Thursday?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. We'll have all sorts on racingpost.com, all sorts in the Racing Post newspaper on Wednesday and Thursday. I'm looking forward to the Premier League darts on Thursday night as well. The only problem with having one tournament, Jack, I'm a big fan of doubles and trebles and quadruples, as you well know, and I've actually managed to conjure one this week by having Rory McIlroy with Luke Littler to win the darts on Thursday night, the Sheffield leg of the Premier League darts. I think Littler's draw is lovely, and I expect him to win in Sheffield on Thursday night. So have the McIlroy Littler double, perhaps 2-1 and 2-1 and 7-1, and that's the way to sate your lust for doubles if you have the same lust as me. I'm lustful. Talked about my sins again. I'm lustful. I'm envious.
I'm so glad to see you back to 100% fitness, Steve, as well.
Yes.
You were nursing that horrible bout of tonsillitis for a few weeks, weren't you? But you feel it seems you're full of beans again.
I am. I'm ill when I don't drink. I went like a week and a half without touching a drop of alcohol, and to heal my throat. I feel 100% on health again, and I'm feeling gluttonous again. Sorry, I can't stop saying that word. I love it.
It's a great word. Well, look, Steve, I'll chat to you on Sunday alongside Tiger Woods and all of our other guests.
Yes.
And I hope to see all of our viewers there as well for my last hurrah and to watch Rory McIlroy get over the line. There we go. AK Bet's a reminder for the new account offer. It's 50% of your stake back as a free bet if your player misses the cut. Not that any of ours will this week. The code for that is SweetSpot50. Head over to AK Bets. AK himself will be joining us on Sunday. Please do remember to gamble responsibly, and we'll see you all very soon. Bye-bye.